so badly lost hopes for everything, and finally he thought he is nowhere in this world, and finally it is the rain that helped him. So instead of water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink, now it's time to say water, water everywhere. Let us try to take care if we all care. So, hello, again is the same problem. Yeah. So, water and human being has a very vast relationship, and it is a long relationship. So, we have right from the history, we human beings started to see ourselves in water, and we started living from water. All the civilizations you mention, any civilization, it all started from the water itself. So man started going near the water, started living near the water source, and started living very, very conveniently. But now, with the advent of science, we have started slowly moving away from water. Slowly we are having the sense of power that we thought because of urbanization, we can go away from water. We started moving kilometers away from water, and with the press of a button or opening of a tap, we have water at our doorstep. With this concept, what happened? Slowly, we started getting the water source. Slowly, we started moving away from the water source, away from sight, away from mind. Is that as the wording goes? We are not bothered where the water is coming from, how it is coming. We only know to use it, overuse it. And of course, government is also struggling very hard to give water to all. Jal Shakti mission is working day and night to provide water to all. That doesn't mean that we can overuse water. So what we have to do? So usage and overusage, we have to maintain a balance. This is we technocrats have to share our knowledge in this and work in this direction. There's a lot of saying that reduce, reuse, recycle. Now we have restrain, refrain, and so on and so forth. It is very easy to add a lot of R's, but it is very difficult to implement. So the sustainability stands very, very important in this direction also. So what is sustainability? Well, the state in which the components of ecosystem and their functions are maintained for present and future generations. Water, India was very water-rich country once. Now it is one of the water scarce country. Why is it? Because our greediness. We have not thought of our future generations. Our youngsters were okay, they were managing this within their limits. Now it is our time to work on a sustainable construction so that our future generations will have a better living. So the three major pillars of sustainable construction is economic, that is the whole world is moving with economic activities. Socio-cultural activity, this gives us an identity. Our culture, our social activity gives an identity for our construction. Well, environmental. This is very important, which is no identity is there. It's common for everyone. It is common for the entire world. So what we have to do? What is our contribution? Construction says 40% of the energy we are consuming for construction. We say around 42% of total water we are using for construction. And we are using around 50% of the raw materials now at the current stage. And we are also contributing to air pollution, greenhouse gases, water pollution, etc., etc. That is always there. When development is there, there are some pros, there are some cons. Then how to overcome it? Let's see. Friends, water. What is the quantity of water available in the whole world? We all know the whole world is 70% is filled with water, only 30% is land. Out of that 70% of water, we have around 97% is in the sea line. It is saline water. We are not able to drink. Only 3% is potable water, which is available for us. But is it really available for us? No. Out of that, we have glaciers, ice caps, deep buried in the ground. So finally, it's only 1.2% of water is available for us. Is it really 1.2? I will tell you, here it is. See, this is the total water available, and out of that total water available, 97% is saline. We have only 3% of fresh water. Out of that 3%, there are a lot of water hidden in glaciers. And then the groundwater, it is this much of it there in the groundwater. So it is 32% or 31.3% of 2.5%. Out of that, there are hard and frozen the ice below the ground. Only this 20 or say 23, 25, 28 or 29, 30% is only available. That is 30% of 1.2% or 1.2% of 2.5%. That will come to around 0.26% of the entire water available for us for our day-to-day activities. In such a drastic situation, and we are overusing and wasting water. Not only that, there's a lot been talked about agriculture and domestic wastage. Yes, we spend a lot of time on targeting 130 liters per day per person water supply in all our urban areas. But what is happening? How much they are using it? See, a study says it is around 250 to 300 liters. If you take around 250 liters itself, it is quite a large amount of water is being wasted or overused. Let's see. See, even this figure itself, it shows where the water is being wasted. Anyway, let's go forward. This is the slide which I have taken from Ajit sir, which clearly says the construction industry, how much it is contributing for the warm wave which is going away from the earth. It might be the temperature from the building, it might be air conditioning, the roads, the trains, the tarmac yards, and many more. Hardly any greenery. So if more and more heat is generated, more and more global warming is likely to happen. Does mean to say that we'll get more rains? Let's see. See, the water crisis in India is man-made. A lot of articles are being published. Our waterman of India, Dr. Rajendra Singh says, another 5 years down the line, if we do not take care of water resources, 20 cities in our country are going to run dry. There's already one country in the world that is none other than the Cape Town, which has already been announced, or they're likely to know that they are zero water country. There's no water source available for them. You can see a lot of videos in the YouTube. You get a lot of comments on them. A lot of articles are being spread that the cities are going dry in the years to come. So we need to be careful. No, I was telling about whether nature is creating this problem, whether there is a shortfall of rains. See, if you take the statistics, hardly 1 or 2 rains here and there, 1 or 2 years here and there. For the past 15 years, now for the past 70 years, there is an average rainfall happening or rainfall the nature is giving us in the entire country. That is, our national average of rainfall is 1025 liters annually. So nature is doing its job. It's our duty to save, conserve, and preserve. See, that as urbanization grows, we have this, as urbanization is increasing, we have this problem. I understand. That the usage of water, as the demand increases, the demand increases, the scarcity also is increasing. As Rajendra Singh said, by 25, we'll be having a lot of problems, including Bangalore and Chennai. So let's start. See, this is a very clear example why it is 25. Now we are somewhere managing between 700 to 750. So anytime, another 5 years down the line, we all have to take equal importance on saving, conserving, and preserving water. Friends, more warming will lead to more rains? No, it doesn't happen that there will be a sudden gush of water in a particular period, but average rainfall remains the same. Water may prove even more critical than energy. That is why I congratulated ACCI Bangalore Center for giving water as the main important aspect in this series next to energy. Because water and energy, they are same part, or both two faces of a coin. Water has far-reaching implications in the areas of climate change, human habitation, health, economics. So we need to take care of water. How it's possible? Well, we need to do metering, budgeting, etc. construction. Hardly any work, not much work has been done. Nor the engineers and the builders and technocrats are bothered to really work out how much water has been used in construction. So, as a calculation states by Jadavpur University in 2016, they found out 27 kiloliters are used per square meter of built up area. That is the amount of water we are using in our construction on an average. Very interesting is actual construction takes place with only 2 kiloliters of water per square meter. Then where did that 25 liters go? 25 kiloliters go? Well, it is in the production stage. That means to say, construction industry, the production industry is also playing a major role in, and they have to take a lot of measures to save, conserve, and preserve water. So, actions in the consumption stage we are now discussing in the. So we need to have a brainstorming session with the industrialists to save, the conserve, and preserve water techniques. In the world, they say 20 kiloliters per square meter is the gross floor area. In Australia, they say that they are the lowest one. That means that we have a lot of scope in introducing water construction. Well, friends, now what does Indian Green Building Council say? This is a very interesting slide. Energy saving is around 20 to 30%, but water saving is 30 to 50%. That is the target. In IGBC statement or in their ratings, they say they have given 23 points, whereas for energy is only 20 points. That means to say, an energy water conservation topic comes first, then comes energy conservation. It means to say the technocrats and the think tank, they are already thinking that water conservation is the prime importance in the days to come. Energy will follow. So let's work more. See, there's this the example. So 28 and 23%. And this resources plays a major role where 18% is there. And of course, where we play a major role, sustainable design and innovative design plays another 25%. So we have a lot of scope to work on this, friends. And as far as the construction is concerned, see, this is a lot of scope we have. All this energy efficiency, I'll give you more details in the slides to come. Well, now coming to the design part of it. It's very easy to say, oh, it's very airy building and we have a lot of energy saving in this building. But how does that come from? It comes from this wonderful greenery which we have planted. Where does that greenery come from? It comes from water content in the soil. And if the water content has to be retained, you need to have trees. Once you have trees, then it will give fresh air. Once it gives fresh air, you have a cooler atmosphere and it goes on. There will be energy saving in the building also. So the design aspect, we have to design in the 360-degree angle. I have seen in the private designing, as for the private projects are concerned, our owners are really concerned about the total concept of their project. But I'm very sorry to say, as far as the government buildings are concerned, they're only bothered about one aspect, that is the building. They have to building, they have to design. After they build, they construct and live it and go. Whether the building is serviceable, whether they have sufficient water in the toilets, whether they have sufficient drinking water in the premises, the designer of the building is not ready to explain. So that's a tragic affair. Now that has to be poked into the head of all the building designers, especially in the civil engineering department. So we have to avoid eco-sensitive sites. We have to, of course, forest, lake, canals, corridors, wetland, floodland. This is all we all know. But the greedy owner, the greedy builder, if he occupies the lakes, if one builder is not there, there will be another builder ready. Or if one lobbying is not, the other lobbying is ready. So we need to curtail this. We need to follow the IGBC guidelines very strictly. Then our ideas, our National Building Code also tells you very clearly that how we have to go about the buildings. Let's follow that. So, because why the water plantation is necessary? Because only 2% it is using for giving you the fruits and the food what it has to prepare. 98% it maintains the groundwater content and the temperature of the atmosphere. That's why we need to have a good ecosystem also. And this is a fantastic slide given by Ajay Sabne sir, where I don't have to explain anything. This is wonderful slide where we have to be with the ecosystem so that there will be energy saving and water saving also. We have to minimize the development footprint, especially in the present where natural areas have to be there, re-establish damaged ecosystem. Okay, these are general items. Let me give you some more details specifically. Especially when you go to a construction site, maintain existing water flow system. This is how it happens. Suppose there in your large site of say 1 acre, 2 acre, there is a drain running up, and your site you have to build a building. You are forced to divert the drain at the corner of the compound and take it at the backside. But the quantity of water coming is only during the rainy season, which you are not realizing, and is likely to overflow, and your site is going to be flooded up. So we need to think very, very clearly in this direction. Surface runoff has to be thought of, and we need to say that whatever surface runoff, if it is there, it should not spoil the building structure. So we need to see that there will be some percolation pits. Let us do some percolation pits. It might be for the labors for a washing purpose, it might be the toilets, or it might be a curing water, or it is wastewater come going out of the building. Let it not be drained out. Let it go into the filtration and let it go into the ground. So here's a small example in a small way where water goes into the ground to whatever extent. The earth is really hungry of water. It's a small percolation pit, but the amount of water it is taking is enormous. And if you don't have space, don't worry, go deep. When we say when we are ready to go deep to extract water, why we are hesitating to do percolation pits which are deep enough to let water into the ground. Let's do that in our sites so that water is recharged into the ground. Then there are a lot of masonry. The masonry construction itself, on an average, takes 350 liters of water per square meter. Now the technology has come where Wienerberger, they have a glue where you can avoid water totally in the construction of masonry. There are innovative bricks which has come up in the market where you don't have to use any mortar and you can straight away start constructing. I have practically used this type of construction and this type of blocks where you don't have to hardly use any mortar. This knot will take up all your interlocking system, and you hardly use any water. And this is a mud block building. This is a stabilized mud blocks building, and it is hydraulically compressed, and hardly any curing is also needed. So you save a lot of water during construction, and later it gives a thermal comfort. It saves a lot of energy also. And one more, where our designers, engineers, and the owners can play a role is earlier, all the taps were with inefficient knob. Just open this knob, all the water used to flow directly. Now is something called as aerators. Let's try to put aerators in all the taps possible. Wherever we use, whatever might be the purpose, let's put aerators. And if you don't put aerators, especially in the gardening, there is something called as a spray pumps are available, spray knobs are available where you water your garden also. These are hardly any cost, just around 200 to 300 rupees per aerator. It can save up to 30 to 50% of water wastage. Apart from that, there are bubble taps nowadays, which gives you water in forms of bubbles, where it's very, very efficient, and it will solve all your washing problems. And there are sensor fittings, push button taps. Sensor fittings are very, very efficient, but they're costly, probably not possible in our apartment buildings. But in other areas, definitely, yes. It is getting popular slowly. Well, there are water efficient now. Waterless urinals are being used, especially in the public buildings and public toilets. Then closet with 6 liters of per flush is very, very efficient as per the current guidelines. Then we have dual pipelines. Many of the apartments and the buildings, green buildings, they suggest dual pipelines from the septic tank or from the STP lines or the wastewater lines, or the gray recycled water can be used for reflushing also. Then bib cock arrangements. Nowadays, the taps comes with a bib cock attachment where you can control your output of your tap also. It might be a faucet or a tap. You can control it. That is much convenient rather than having a bib cock below your tank or below your wash basin where it's not possible to read them. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please
Yes,
go ahead.
sir.
Okay. Then let us try to put push button taps for all public taps. It must be made mandatory within our mind, because public doesn't say, the owner doesn't say, the authorities doesn't say. It is our duty to save water. So use push button tap for invariably to all public taps so that water is not wasted. And we have low water consuming vacuum based WCs coming up now. We have sensor based showers. Automatic faucets are there already. Then now we have already dual flush knobs for our water closets, and many more are coming. Let's look forward them and use them very effectively. This is one of the very efficient water usage system for drainage, that is biodigester. Again, I'm talking with my own experience where I have installed it in my own office, and it is running very efficiently. It is a very eco-friendly system. Absolutely no power required. This 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet pit is having a capacity of 50 people in the building. When the training happens, there are more than 100, 150 people coming in. So I thought 50 people average would be nice. And it is already 4 years down the line. Absolutely no problem. No power required. It is a DRDO, Defense Research Organization patented technology, and one TOT transfer agency is in Bengaluru and other one is in Hubli. And they give you enzymes and they can supply this, or you can make your own tank of your own with your own materials. It can be masonry material, or it can be a concrete tank, or it can be a ferrocement one, but it should be leak proof. So very low space requirement. My leach pit was almost 2.5 times bigger than this, and I could able to manage with 4 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet, 1.2 meters by 1.2 meters. And the output is only clear water. It is not potable, but it is clear water used for gardening. Greenery development is very easy. So existing septic tank or your existing STP can be easily converted. In other words, we are trying to convert 100% recycling. We are heading towards 100% recycling. Now, how we can save water in designing, and how we can save water in green building constructions? Well, nowadays, friends, it is high time that we are forced to use proper ventilation and open space, because we need more air. The buildings are very nearby, and we don't have much space, so we look forward for larger building areas. Then we have we need a lot of open space in this building. This is designed by me, and we have given, as far once you enter the house, it is your kitchen, come dining, come puja, come living, all in one. Absolutely open, and when there's a family gathering, they are very happy doing all the joint activities, including cooking and eating. Well, that will save lot of wall space, wall length, construction cost also. Then efficient space management and locally available materials will help you a lot. That I don't have to tell you. We all know that locally available materials will help to a large extent, where it will reduce the carbon footprint also. Then local techniques. So you can see here, it's all age-old techniques like arch construction. We have totally avoided lintels and have provided a reinforced brick lintel here. It's only a 6 feet wide opening. So reinforced brick lintel is used. So hardly any concrete lintels are used. The entire building is not plastered like the wooden buildings. So you reduce the cement content also, and you give importance to vernacular architecture. It might be a dome construction, or it might be a vault construction. A vault and a dome can take sufficient amount of load. See the amount of the students standing, they wanted to check it, and they were standing and jumping on it, and was very confident that my vault is a single layer brick and it's going to be very strong. And eco-friendly and green construction is also very important as far as the building is concerned. What are those? Let's try to work on one by one. Usage of locally available materials will always help you. Avoid steel and cement cement intensive materials and techniques. Well, I might be a little bit controversial in this, but let us keep it that stage is about because the water consumption to produce steel and cement and aluminum is the highest compared to any other material construction industry, any other raw materials in the construction industry. So that's why I've mentioned it clearly. It is my point. It is my duty to make it a point that if you avoid cement, steel, aluminum to a large extent, probably you will be having a very eco-friendly green construction. Then, right from foundation, if you think there are a lot of techniques available, we can think of arch foundation as where the foundation is concerned, and is very, very efficient, especially in the compound walls, residences, and multi-storied buildings. You need to take care because you have plinth beams in there. It's not possible. And for the openings, we have arches. I have already shown you. Here is also there's an arch, and again this house also. This is the kitchen, and this is the living and the dining, and the front one is the living, all in one area. Next, we have mud block, rammed earth walls, which is very, very comfortable for living inside. Then we have exposed masonry. We don't plaster. I already told you. Then we have what is called as a filler slab. We have a filler slab technology where it is not a hardcore concrete, where the lighter materials is inserted within the concrete and the roof is casted. And when the roof is cast, you don't have to do the ceiling plastering. Such a wonderful ceiling look you will get. And in Mangalore for the past 25, 30 years, all my constructions are with filler slab techniques only. I hardly do regular slab construction unless the design requirement. And brick wall roof, yes, this is my office building. The brick wall roof here, and the other side also. And I've used brick wall roof for private constructions also. Coming to rainwater harvesting, this is one of the important aspect where I have noticed, to sorry to say, the engineers, the designers, and the owners, they say, I just want it for my license purpose. So do some technique and finish it off. Let us do for the namesake. No, please don't do that. We engineers, if we say we are doing it for the namesake, the owners will definitely will not be bothered. And the public will say, it's a waste technique. No. When water falls from the roof, it is free of cost. Nature gives us water free of cost. And just because it is free of cost, let's not waste it and leave it in the drains and then struggle for water in our residences, in our offices. Ministry of Jal Shakti is working very hard to provide water for each and everyone. It is our duty to give water for whoever is needed. Friends, when we say we need to do rainwater harvesting, you have to put water into your own well or your own ground. People, the common question they ask me is whether my well will get benefited out of it, or will I get the benefit if I do the water or percolation pit and send it into the ground? It is only benefiting somebody else down the line. Sir, it is not like that. When you take air from the sky, when you take light from the sun, do you have a compound wall for that? We don't have a compound wall. The water within the ground is a treasure given by the nature. A well might be yours, but the water is not yours. It is nature's. So let's have this understanding. This fisherman in coastal city, they have a very vast sharing mind. When they do the fishing, they don't have a premises to where or a compound wall or the fence where they do the fishing. They just go into the sea and fish. And if they get more large quantity of fish, they call others. I can't carry because their own boat might sink. Though they share the fish to other friends and they all share the happiness. Same way is water. The drinking water, it is not only a concept of one single season, only during rainwater. The rainwater concept, harvesting concept is not only during rainy season, it's for the entire year. My dear friends, you just start doing half of your roof of your water. Try to harvest whatever it might be. It might be your sump tank. This is my own office, sump tank, and we use it. And this is my house well, where water harvesting is done for my own house. And this is the bore well in my another office, where I have harvested the water for my own bore well. Whether I am getting the benefit of it or somebody else is getting it, that's a secondary. Once you started doing at least half of it, next year you will feel, oh, I did a mistake. I should have done the other half also. Once you do the other half, you will see, oh, a lot of water is running in my garden, in my yard. Let me try to save that also. You will naturally feel like saving every drop of water falling within your premises. And that should be the attitude. That should be the approach. Water, when so harvest comes basically from paddy. Paddy grows only during rainy season, and we grow paddy. And when the paddy is ripe, we bring the paddy plants and heat it and sieve it and take the hay away and use only the paddy rice, and we preserve it. And when there is no rainfall, when there is no paddy field growing, we use that same rice. That means to say, water, when you harvest, meaning harvest is you preserve, you filter it and preserve. Don't just collect the water directly. Water had to be filtered, preserved it, then you can use it for the entire year. Absolutely no problem. I have proved myself that I have preserved water and saved it for 4 to 5 months, and I have tested it NITK Suratkal every year in a closed tank where the water can be used for after 4 or 5 months also, and it was potable for drinking. So it is not only a concept for rainy season, it's for the entire year. You save, you conserve, you store, and once you store, it is like your own money. You have to use it very, very sparingly and effectively in the entire 365 days. So what you have to do, you store it. Water coming directly from sky, especially not the pre-monsoon, the regular monsoon water is really pure. If you take it directly on a hand, you might have a fear that all the dust particles in your hand might enter into your body. So you wash your hands. In the same way, you filter it in a simple manner. It might be a filter like this, or it might be a filter like this, or it might be a filter like a Netlon mesh like this. You filter it and save it. And once you save it, see that air and light does not enter, then you will be definitely save it and use it for the entire year. If not, allow it to go into the ground. I said, do a pit. It might be a 3 feet wide pit. Go deep, allow it. And of course, there are some do's and don'ts that we'll discuss in detail later. Plant trees wherever possible. Let us locally available plants, not a palm tree which grows in the desert. You plant it in the coastal area. No, whatever available, which is locally possible plants, available plants only has to be planted so that more water is retained and the more comfortable you are there. If not, do percolation pits. In your empty sites, you have an empty sites, please do percolation pits and leave it like that. And definitely you will see 2 years down the line, there will be greenery growing all around. There's a classic example of this village, Sarpanch, who said we need to do water budget for the entire village. And this colleague now in Maharashtra, and they are successful. They can calculate water. If I'm going out of time, please remind me. If you're going out, see, you need to calculate, you need to budget. Water is like money. Earlier, we used to get water free of cost everywhere. Now it's not like that. Now water is money. We are purchasing water, even 1 liter water, we are spending 10 rupees for a bottle of water. So it is very, very important in the future days that we need to save, preserve water. We need to budget for water. That's very example. How do you calculate the water? 1 meter by 1 meter, 1 millimeter is 1 liter. Friends, very simple. 1 meter by 1 meter, 1 millimeter is 1 liter. So water quantity is nothing but area, this is square meters, surface area coefficient. That is the runoff coefficient or absorbing coefficient. That is generally for a slab or a tile roof, it is 9.95. On a yard, it is 9.5. Concrete roads and all, it's not drains and all is 9.5. Of course, it is for here, what is that? Mud area, it is around 0.6. For a garden or a turf, it is around 0.4, 0.5, something like that. So, into average area of that area. If it's Bangalore, it's 1,000. In Bangalore, it is 3,500 millimeters of water. In spite of we getting 3,500 millimeters of water, I'm very sorry to say Bangalore in summer is struggling for water tanks to supply water. Very sorry. So we need to install water flow meters for all our outlets, whether it's your borewell, open well, or some tank. You're drawing water, install and check how much water you are using for every month. So this has to be taken care of. Then try to give star ratings for your apartments. If you're having many apartments or your staff members, if you have installed and approved, give them star ratings, give them incentives, appreciate the innovativeness of the staff, especially the engineers. There are many engineers in the field I've seen in the site, in the construction field, especially in the apartments and the multi-storied buildings. They use innovative methods, especially let them apply in saving water also. There are many unsung heroes. Let us identify them and give them a scope to work on this. And this is wonderful example. There is a video shared by Department of Education. It tells you how to inculcate water budgeting from the high school level, from the school, primary school level. The calculate inflow, they have given a chart also where you have to write down how much water you are using for bathing, washing clothes, not washing clothes, brushing, taking bath, and for your toilet purpose. And mother has to give the calculation of how much water you are using for your washing and utensils and the clothes, etc., cleaning purpose. So water use in the residence are also be calculated, and water used for the agriculture, for the gardening also has to be calculated. They also gives very detailed lecture there, or rather it's only a 10 minutes video, but very clearly explain where the students, the children's can take care of our water resources. Now, earlier days, we were not bothered with Swachh Bharat mission. Now, every child, if we throw a wrapper in the ground, he or she will tell, the student will tell, sir, it is Swachh Bharat, please don't litter here. So it has gone into their mind. Now, because of Corona, we say wear mask, wear mask. So mask, we don't feel going out without the mask in our forehead. So this is how we have to go. But unfortunately, this has been celebrated only for 1 week, and they announced it on the 15th. So I'm very sorry. Now it's too late, but now this has to be inculcated. That model has to be taken, and we engineers can follow in our day-to-day life. And this will also help in reducing the carbon footprints. They're also taught. Students are being told to how to reduce carbon footprints and what is the carbon footprint you are contributing to the nature. Wonderful concept. Let's try to follow. And I should thank DSR teachers, and I thank all the teachers who are there in this community. So last slide, we need to become smart. We use smart lighting, we use smart phones, we use smart TV, we use smart air conditioning systems, smart lighting. Everywhere it is smart. Smart cities are coming into picture, but if we technocrats, we engineers, if we are not water smart, how can we save water for the future? Earlier, there was something called as SOS, switch off something, switch off something. We used to say, don't waste light, switch off. Now it's time to say TOT, turn off the taps. We are saving, or we are overusing a lot of water in our taps. Let's try to stop. Let's try to close taps every time. Let's not remove hand from our tap knobs. We'll always save water. Water and money goes together. In future, if there is no water, I'm telling you, we'll be having money also. It is like a hard cash. If you have surface water, it's like a hard cash. So let's try to save. Let's not try to litter our surface water, the lakes, the bunds, the madakas, the pushkaranis. Let's try to save them. Let's not spoil them with all the plastic and trash, drainage, wastage. Let's not do that. Let's try to object. Let's try to oppose somebody spoiling our cash-rich resource. We have an SB account, like in a shallow aquifer, like our own open well. It is like an FD SB account. You can always take water whenever you want. How much ever water you can take, and you can always refill it. It is like an SB account. Is like an SBI ATM card. The water inside is like an SBI ATM card. And FD account is nothing but the deep aquifers. That's the borewells. We are going deep, 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 and we claim that we can go up to 1,200, 1,600 deep. Is it a pride for us? It's a shame on us. As we go deep, we get mineral water and not pure. So, friends, to do a little bit of exercise in this direction, thanks to a lockdown, I have started a channel called as Water is Life, Save Water. I'm Rajendra Kalbavi. So, if you type this, you will get a lot of information on how to do rainwater harvesting, how to do water saving, what are the methods involved in rainwater harvesting, how to you can save water, how efficiently you can use water. Please do subscribe this and go through this, and you will appreciate a lot of things. And last one word, if we say that there's going to be a third world war because of water, no, Israel. Israel has said we are water plus country. 60% is our area is desert, 40%, and we have only one river. And in spite of this, we are a water rich country. So we can give you the technology on water, we can give you water, and we'll increase our friendship. Forget about war. So it's high time that we Indians, we engineers think in this direction, and finally we can be water-rich country also in the days to come. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Rajendra Kalbavi. That was a wonderful presentation. And water is something very precious for all of us. And I'm sure all of us learned a lot of ways and means by which we can save this water. Now, next we are going to go into question and answer session. Before that, as usual, I think Bangalore Center of ACCEI would like to share a few thoughts. I request Engineer Shrikant Chanal, Secretary of the Bangalore Center, to kindly share some of his thoughts for the next maybe about 3 minutes. Mr. Shrikant Chanal.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Audible?
Yes.
You're audible.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think you can mute the other, sir. Some disturbance is there.
Is there? Okay. Sure, go ahead. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir. After listening to waterman of our ACC, Engineer Kalbavi, now I am enthused to have some of my experiences to share with him, with all the audiences, that we were doing soil exploration work for Goa region of Konkan Railway on what is known as Pennem Tunnel purpose. In that, we were doing the drilling at a very high level, and we were not getting water at all there. So, but the drilling purpose, we wanted water for our drilling units. So what I did was, our work was going on in the month of June and July, and I searched one particular location, and we built a small, barrage kind of a thing at the some kind of a nala, and it so happened that it rained, and we using the bentonite, I covered everything, and sufficient water I stored it, and I started using for my drilling units. Fortunately, the nearby village, which they were receiving the water from at a distance of about 1.5 to 2 kilometers, started coming to that pond. It created like a pond, and they started using that water. And finally, PWD chief engineer from Goa came there, and he studied that pattern, and he said, "Sir, you have given me a wonderful, model now, and we are going to have a small barrage here. Thank you very much." And he sat with me for about 6 hours discussing what we did and all that. And I am very happy to share this event with all of you. Okay, coming back to our Bangalore Center activities that we are conducting on this professional issues. some of the basic professional issues that we are facing today is that all the jobs are being called in the name of architect. Although there are engineering services involved in the jobs, they never call required engineer for the work or required consultant for the job or anything. They always call an architect is required and all that. This is the very sorry state of affairs. See, we are now making aware to all the agencies, government agencies, semi-government agencies, and all others, writing them from ACCE that, see, look, this is not, whatever you are doing is not right, and you have to follow the Supreme Court order, and also you have to incorporate the NBC provisions. As such, you have to call the engineers also at par with the architects for the jobs. The way architects can hire the engineers, engineers can also hire the architects if required. Of course, architectural service is always there as a part of engineering services in NBC as well as in the Supreme Court order and everything. Even then, they are not considered, and we are making them aware. This is one of the primary objectives, and we have already started. Bangalore Central University, we have raised this issue, and also with National Accreditation and Assessment Council, also we have raised this issue, and the things are moving on. Number two, this construction part of the buildings, especially in the urban areas, being done only, not only, being done also by non-technical people, which we call popularly as quacks. That should stop. NBC has given enough provisions in the new codal provisions that only the technically qualified persons should construct the building. For that, what are the formalities to be followed? How that earlier engagement should be submitted along with the plan sanction to the authority, and then at the end of the building construction, they have to give the completion certificate from the contractor that the building has been completed. So this also has been taken up from the ACCE, and we are pursuing it. Corporation or incorporating in the bylaw. Other than that, few days back, we got some, kind of a complaint from our ACC members that not doing enough to their members or to the profession in general, to the civil engineering fraternity, that the engineers, especially the design engineers, structural engineers, maybe PhD design engineers, they are being misused. And they take the design, and in between they will be ditched out without making a proper payment before completion of the job, and they will engage somebody else and get the work done. So the profession is suffering, and the jobs are suffering. In inferior quality is coming out. As such, when he said, yes, that is right, that issue also has been properly addressed in the NBC, that structural designer should be engaged in the beginning itself till the completion. His certification is also important before giving occupancy certificate, and such issues are being taken up at ACCE, and all of you, if you join us, definitely we make our voice strong and felt in the authorities and in the society, and it will be one of the very important assignment that ACCE has taken up for the enhancement of the profession, for the betterment of the society, and I hope all will join our cause and fulfill this very one of the another part of the sustainment, we can sustainable profession, we can say, because the profession itself is under very bad situation, which should be brought back to the track. Thank you. Back to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Srikanth Chanal. Now the floor is open for questions we address to Mr. Rajendra Kalbavi. To begin with, I think Mr. Devansh Pandey, he had a few questions. Mr. Pandey, you can unmute yourself and go ahead and ask a question. Mr. Pandey, are you there? Okay. Anyone else? Any other questions? You can unmute yourself and ask a question, please.
Sir? No.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Sir, you told that.
Yeah.
Sir, you told that avoiding water in masonry construction, right? Sir, then what's about the curing then?
Can I? Is the question over? See, I hope I'm audible. Especially in a masonry where you have to avoid water. Either you can go for a chemical. There is a glue available from Wienerberger where absolutely water is not required. It's a chemical itself, like like our polymer concrete. So it is absolutely water is not required. The other two models which I have shown is a brick with the notches in the front, back, side on all the three sides except the facing one. So there's an interlocking system happening between the bricks. When the interlocking happens, you place the bricks to the line, length, and plumb, and it will stick together. At the end, if required, you can have the restraints like the pillars or whatever required. It's absolutely no problem. I have done it. That's why I've showed the photographs. The curing is not required because there is no cement mortar at all. Hope I answered.
Sir, I have a small question. Sir, you mentioned about the filler slab technology. Can you let us know more about it?
See, in the concrete, as for IS 456, it says the concrete in the below the neutral axis does not take part in the design. Concrete below the neutral axis is almost like a waste body, which is there within the slab, within the two reinforcement. If you can remove that little bit of concrete and introduce a lighter material, you can keep it open, but the shuttering takes a lot of hard work and it takes a lot of time and a lot of money also. So instead of that, you introduce a lighter material. You can introduce a lighter material like a hollow clay block. You can introduce a lighter material like a mud block or even coconut shells. You can introduce what is called as mud cars. There are the mud cars available, the mud cars available. You can use that. And you keep it open. It's like a waffle concrete in a miniature form. In the waffle concrete, you must have heard waffle slab in a miniature form. Now, what happens? You're not compromising on the reinforcement. You're not compromising on the structural aspect. In spite of that, you're removing concrete and using a lighter material, or you can keep it open also. Lighter material. What happens? Overall, the quantity of the steel also will come down because the dead weight will come down, and you will get a thermally comfortable interior. And of course, the ceiling looks beautiful depending on which material you are using. It might be a brick or hollow brick, or it might be a tile, Manglo tile also, waste Manglo tile. Depends on which material you use. So it is a very, very comfortable, and even in the heavy rainfall region like Manglo, it is successfully implemented.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you for excellent and informative awareness presentation by you. Like, as we know that all these things in construction sites, small construction site, everything, these water things will be handled by unskilled labor. Like, we need to make them awareness of this water usage, no, sir, especially curing and all those things. If you see small building where they use water, they doesn't know what is the precious of this water thing. Like, I think we request, we need to make an awareness of this water utilization especially in unskilled labors. That things we need to take things where that small construction is going on so much, like urban areas in Bangalore cities or any cities. Like, what steps we need to do all these things, sir? Like,
yeah, I got your point.
Especially in a big project, we'll be having team and all those things. But small project, there'll be no team or anything. Like, we need your suggestion and go forward in this way, sir. Thank you, sir.
Can I add? See,
yes, sir.
Construction, whether it's big or small, the wastages are likely to happen. So, what we need to do, that's why I said we engineers play a very major role. We study BE, we study MTech, and finally the masonry or the concrete work is done by unskilled or labor who has not studied engineering. It's quite natural. So a engineer's job is finally well implemented by a common man at the field. So we first, from our side, we need to take care. We need to give him a spray pump where he can use the spray pump only to cure. We need to tell him if this is a motorless joint or is a motorless masonry. So the supervision plays a very important role. Of course, we engineers can team up and bring an awareness. No, the plumbing contractor, the plumbing fitting, the painters, the paint manufacturers, they all started going down and training the regular masons and painters and plumbers because they are the final implementing people. So we need to work together. Definitely, we can plan out and we can work out. We can introduce such beautiful fittings where water is sparingly used. And based on the site conditions, we can also suggest them that you can reuse this water and we can reuse it for some other purpose. Especially, I'll tell you what happened in a waterlogged area, especially in Mangalore, there was a waterlogged area and where water is available just 4 feet below the ground level. Because water is 4 feet below the ground level, the general plinth level or the normal ground level was increased another 4 feet high, or almost say another 2 feet high. 6 feet down, the water is available. So there was a filling for around 2.5 to 3 feet for the entire site. That gentleman, instead of that engineer or the site supervisor, instead of using that waterlogged water within the ground, which is available just 6 feet, just to make the water level. You need to puddle the earth and make it settle. He used corporation water, which he is paying for money, and he is using that pump to wet the mud and do the leveling. So these type of common sense has to be inculcated with our supervisors, engineers, site engineers. We need to have a think tank and we need to work all together. It's not possible by one person. Hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Kalpavi. Actually, there is one more thought that is flowing in the air. Oh, I think I'm flowing.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead. Someone else.
My question is, what does vernacular architecture means?
Okay, vernacular architecture is a traditional type of architecture which we need to follow. Earlier days, we were doing large bridges with bricks, only with masonry. Of course, it has its own limits. I don't say that. So within the limits possible, if at all we can reduce concrete and use the locally available vernacular style of architecture, instead of lintels, if we can do arches, if we can instead of lintels, if we can do flat arches, instead of lintels or shades, if we can use reinforced brick lintels. So, and instead of where the real plastering is not necessary, we can use the locally available mud for plastering, and so on and so forth. It is the traditional type of construction which we need to bring back wherever possible. I'm not telling it in a common manner. It is site specific, area specific. If it's possible, definitely we'll be not only saving water, we'll be also saving in our thermal comforts within the building.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, just 1 minute.
Go ahead.
Can I share, sir? Hello?
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Sunil Kute from Nasik. Rajendra ji, first of all, great congratulations for your wonderful presentation and addressing the need of the all. And really, water issue will be a great issue in future. I just would like to suggest or ask you that a major component of the water in the buildings is being utilized for flushing the toilets, and till that we are using the same drinking water for flushing the toilets. So there is a need to go for 2 separate systems, one of raw water for flushing the toilets and one for drinking water for all those things. So what I would like to hear more about this aspect from you.
Sir, there are two aspects. One is, I have told you, there is what is called as dual piping system. I have already mentioned in my talk there that we should install dual piping system. There are builders who have done that. Now, the dual piping, where does the water come? We can get water from our own STP, or if we install biodigester, the clear water which comes out from the water, that can be used for your flushing purpose.
Yeah.
One. Second one, nowadays, a lot of experiments and research is going on the grey water. Grey water is kitchen and your bathroom. The water coming out from your kitchen and bathroom, and whatever coming out from your dishwashers and washing machines. If we can use that for flushing again, that will be a fantastic concept. And there is a small filtration method, and probably we need to work on this a little bit more. So once that comes handy, if that filtration unit comes handy for us, then we can use that for a flushing purpose also. So dual pipeline is a fantastic and a very, very ideal and a clear method to save and preserve water. Fantastic, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions? I think one is Manjunath GA. He had posted a question on the chat box. Is it there? Can you?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Sir, I'm here. Good evening.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sir, it's again regarding the filler roof. Usually in filler roof, there will be concrete only in the compressive zone. That will be around 2.5 inches to 3 inches. So what is the method you adopted to compact the concrete?
Sir, as far as the filler slab is concerned, if whatever filler material we use, the normal depth of the concrete, as you said, is only 3 inches. If it is a flow, and compaction method is the same as a conventional. We use needle vibrators only. And of course, if required, we surface vibrators also we use. Absolutely no problem. And if at all if it's a floor, then we don't, especially in Mangalore, we don't put surface temperature reinforcement. If it's a roof, it's a final slab, then we put another temperature reinforcement of say 2 feet by 60 centimeters by 60 centimeters spacing, 6 mm dia MS wire we tie it. So it will be act as a temperature stressors, so that because of the heating of the thermally efficient, this tile should not crack or lead into a crack of the surface, and water should not get in. So that's the reason and that is a very successful method. Absolutely, pouring concrete is done as normal concreting is done for a regular slab, sir. Absolutely no change.
Because I have seen in some of the places where they put some decorative tiles in the bottom as a pillar, and they'll put some rebars. Here they cannot put vibrator. If they put vibrator, that will disturb. The tiles will disturb. So what they used to do, they used to increase the water cement ratio, and they used to do. That is not a correct. So you had any other option? This thing, that's what I wanted.
I will tell you. So in such cases, what you can do is put a layer of sand on very, very, very mild quantity of cement, very, very lean mix, and place the tiles. Once you place the tiles, and next you place then what they do, very rarely we opt that, and we fill the joints with cement mortar, light cement, very, very lean cement mortar. Lay the rebar and do the concreting. And we have succeeded. Only very rarely it will get disturbed. Absolutely no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Rajendra, I have a question.
Yeah.
When such a system for the roof, what about the waterproofing part? When you're talking about a very lean concrete, thermal truss reinforced concrete, which are two different material. So there will be a crack which will develop.
No. You have mistaken me. As far as the lean concrete or a lean mix is concerned, that is only below the surface of the tile, not within the concrete. Within the concrete is a design mix only.
Now, when you are talking about the roof, where you said you are using some thermal reinforcement and then a screed. So when you are talking about a very thin concrete, it is obvious, the concrete, as you know, it cracks. How you are addressing the waterproofing issues there? And
See,
also,
that's what I said.
I have one more question. You mentioned about the interlock wall system. How you are addressing the waterproofing issue there also?
Yeah. This is an interesting question as far as the wall is concerned. For the roof, it's not an issue. See, I've told you, when the floor is casted, we don't provide any temperature reinforcements on the top of the filler material. If it is a roof,
Yes.
we provide temperatures reinforcement. It might be a GI wire, it might be a mesh, weld mesh, or a 6 mm or a 5 mm GI wire at 60 centimeters by 60 centimeters spacing. We provide a separate temperature stress mat.
Correct.
On the top layer, just below the cover, we place that and do the concreting. That temperature we have taken, so we don't have complaints. As far as the wall is concerned, see, in the earlier days, we have old buildings are even today masonry walls. You take any villas or bungalows, they all are without lime mortar only, and some are with mud mortar also. Even today they are there because the wall is protected from the rain, direct rains. So we have a lot of orangs. We have orangs or some lean-to roofs, so that we in the same manner here also I take care of the wall by providing orangs from the roof, sufficient orangs. In spite of Mangalore being 3,500 millimeter rainfall, we don't have complaint in exposed masonry. We have complaint in the slab. Okay, sometimes we have, but not in the wall. That wall, water is leaking from the wall. We don't have. And because of the orangs, we have two advantages. One is the wall will not get heated up, and second, it will not get drenched also. So we have the wall will remain fresh for 3 to 5 years without any problem.
Now, basically, I have asked this question. If I want to use the interlock system to a town in a city like Bangalore, where overhangs are, space is always the biggest concern, and even if you're going for a multi-story, overhangs are not possible. So, in such scenario, what do you advise?
No. See, I don't. There probably you need multi-storied buildings. You might need waterproofing as far as the multi-storied buildings are concerned. It's not possible. The exterior wall you may have to plaster or you need to do some waterproofing.
Okay.
That is required. Otherwise, there are chances because it's only a tiles placed above the other or because interlocked. There are chances that water might get seeped in. Yeah. Your waterproofing business will flourish. Don't worry.
So I'll always ask this question. Thank you very much. It was an excellent presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now I think this is the last question we'll allow for that to be asked. I think Dr. Mohammed Yassin, I think he had a question. Can you please come in, Mr. Yassin? Mr. Mohammed Yassin, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I just want to know how about installing the thermostat coupling systems for heating the water throughout, because most of the people, as I have seen, I work in an engineering institution. In hostels, many students run lot of water before they get hot water from solar systems. So can you throw some light upon this? How is it being anywhere done in an industry, or is there any company who does this? I just wanted to.
As far as water heating is concerned, actually I am not the right person to answer. But I have come across one company informing that when you switch on the water will come immediately. It will maintain the temperature within the pipes and all those things. Actually, I'm not the right person to answer. Probably experts within the crowd, if anybody is there, they can answer. I should not poke in the nose where I'm not really expert in the field. It's basically solar heating, natural heating.
Anyone amongst the audience who can answer Dr. Mohammed Yassin?
Yeah. Put some light into it, throw some light.
I think we will take it another time. That was good. Thank you, Dr. Yassin. And thank you.
That's a nice question, sir. We'll try to ponder upon this in the days to come.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Kalpavi. I think I'll just like to add. I'm itching to talk about this particular thing. I think Mr. Anjaneya Murthy raised that point. He was concerned about unskilled people being in the sites, not knowing what they are doing, how they are doing, not knowing what water is, not knowing what cement is, jelly is, all these stuff. This is an interesting thing. This has been happening in all of our sites, and all of us are concerned about it. There has been a lot of talks going on in the ACC circle across the country, wherein we are seriously thinking about, see, the solution for this particular thing is either remove all the unskilled people and have skilled people, or start training unskilled people. These are the two solutions we can think of. Both are two extremes. So one thing we are seriously thinking about is, in the years to come, our thinking is to ensure that there are not going to be a single uncertified or unskilled person in the site, in the construction sites. Starting from an ordinary female coolie, going up to the topmost person, the mason, the professional requirements of, say, plumbing, sanitary, electrical, all those things, they all need to be qualified, one, or even those labors will have to be certified. Without any of these, there should come a time in our country that in a construction field, there should not be a single person who is going to be allowed to work in the sites. See, one thing which Mr. Shrikant Chanal, the secretary of the Bangalore Center, was sharing some time ago was the construction industry is contributing to nearly 70% of the economy of the country. That means our industry is something which is contributing to that great extent. It is that much more important for us to ensure that whatever we are handling, we handle with so much care. It's like gold for us. We have to be that much more careful in handling it. Water. Just now, Mr. Kalbavi mentioned about saving 30 to 50%. How can we guarantee that if we don't have people who are skilled or people who are knowledgeable, people who are certified to understand what water is, to understand what concrete is? Concrete is like a child for all of us. Until we cast that and put it in place and make sure it attains the strength what we have designed it for, we treat it like a baby. And that culture should come at every level of the construction. This is possible only if we all get together and start thinking about how we are going to improve this particular system so that our future is going to be, for the country also, economically, it's going to be that much more beneficial to the country as well as all of us. Dr. Kalwal, no arguments here. It is just a thought that I have put across. Please share your thoughts. Dr. Kalwal.
Good evening. I hope you are able to hear me.
Yes,
Why
yes.
do you presume that I am likely to argue on this?
The way you raised your hand, I was not expecting any questions.
That was not a threatening hand. That was a hand requesting for permission.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
No, I just want to add on this training aspect right now. India is a vast country and a very large country, and training is easier said than done. Now, I am saying this from an experience that is there from our company, where we train about 50,000 construction workers every year. 50,000 is a very small number compared to the lakhs and lakhs of people who are working in this country. But as a corporate, we are trying to do our best. What are the problems that we are facing? The problem that we are facing is the construction labor, and even if you take the small-time contractors, are reluctant or they don't understand the importance of this. And also there is a mindset that I know what needs to be done. Who are you to train? These are certain mindsets that are there. Second thing is, when are you going to train them? See, they're all daily wage earners. They don't want to let go of their earning even for a day. And immediately, if you ask them for a training, they'll say, "Sir, can you pay me that kind of money for coming to your training?" Let alone they paying us, they ask us to pay. Second, the contractor doesn't want to let go of these workers because he thinks his work is suffering. So these are some issues that we are having. And many corporates like L&T, they put up excellent training facilities. They're not getting candidates. Not that people are not there, but these are the issues. People don't want to send is number one. The workers don't understand the importance, number two. Number three, they are asking, "Sir, if I get skilled, I am getting, let us say, 400 rupees a day. Can you assure me that I'll get 500 from next day?" There is no appreciation for trained candidates. So what government is trying to do now is that in all major projects, they are now making it a mandate that at least 20% should be certified. So this certification, like for example, in mechanical and all others, a welder needs to be fitter, welder, turner, all of them need an industrial certificate, but a mason and worker doesn't need. So they are trying to slowly bring in this legislation that 20% of the people shall be, so that that good practice will rub off on the others who are not trained also. So this is a Herculean effort, but the Skill India mission also brought in a lot of syllabi on the training of the construction workers. But if you go and see that, they are all 3-month, 6-month kind of situation. Don't expect any fellow to come for 3 months training if he is on the job. Only jobless people can come. But construction industry, unfortunately, is not attractive enough for people to come and get trained as masons. See, they think that a mason's son, he doesn't want his son to be a mason again. So there is no pride in the work. So there are issues, but perfectly correct. What you said is fully right. We need skilled labor, but probably we have to infuse this in tranches of 20%, 30%, slightly trying to up it as we go. Unskilled laborers are there even in developed countries, not that our country has. So, and what we have tried to do, or we are trying to do, is bring out pamphlets which are, not sensitive to language. All caricatures which tell how to do, let us say, curing, how to do compacting, how to do bricklaying, only in terms of sketches. More sketches, less words. So you distribute it at every site. Whenever he finds time, he will just look at it at least, and then he will ask others. So we have to see how we have to develop this. I think ACC can take a lead in visualizing, formalizing how this literature for training can be. For example, this what Rajendra is talking about water, people just don't realize. Curing water, they put on the tap for ponding and they go for coffee. And after that, for more than half an hour, that water is overflowing, nobody bothers. So these are small things that we can teach the construction workers. We just wanted to add that efforts everyone has to put in. I mean, all the corporates, all the contractors, major contractors, of course, very large companies do this, but to percolate it, as Anjaneya Murthy said, to the individual houses is a bit tall order, because of the, anything that you talk of is multiplied by 130 crores in the country. That is a problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kalgal. That
Sir,
was
I have a point here to make.
Yeah, Mr. Srikanchana, go ahead.
Yeah. See, in most of the construction sites, what our engineer Anjaneya Murthy has seen, I feel there may not be a qualified engineer doing the work. That is another aspect. With the thing we were discussing and Dr. Manmohan Kalgal was explaining, it is where everything is available and proper persons are there, engineers are there, supervisors are there. Only the problem is with the workers. But there are places wherein the main persons, I mean the constructor or the supervisor or the designer, nobody will be there. And that system, if it is to be brought properly, that if a proper designer is there, proper constructor is there, and supervisor is there, and it is very important that they are to be trained and they should be made aware of all these technical parameters properly, so that the things will become much easier. Number one, they will only ask for the certificates, and they will only insist upon the learned or trained, well-trained masons, fitters, whatever it is. So that is more important, than directly giving the labels and giving the certificate and telling them go ahead. So of course, parallelly that may also be required, but this is much more effective than the other way. This is what I wanted to tell. Thank you.
Just one more, Rangnath. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We want all those engineers, if at all they are lucky to get involved in houses, to be as passionate as Rajendra Kalpavi is. See, most of the engineers, they are just there. The house doesn't belong to them. They are just there because they're getting paid. There is no involvement. Now we want several billion Rajendra Kalpavis to be born and getting into construction industry. Just want to say that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Kalgal. It's nice to hear from Dr. Kalgal that about at least 20% of whoever is there in the governments, there is a rule that they have to be trained or they have to be certified.
That rule is yet to come. It is coming.
Good. At least a move is there. I'm glad that whatever we are thinking in the association has already been being thought of and trying to be implemented elsewhere. Well, I think we have transgressed from our topic of the day today, but it was interesting. Thank you very much, everybody, for your presence here and for listening to Mr. Rajendra Kalpavi's presentation. It was just wonderful. And I request Secretary of Bagru Center, Mr. Shrikant Chanal, to propose a vote of thanks. Mr. Chanal.
Thank you. At the outset, it is a wonderful lecture from Engineer Rajendra Kalpavi, and we had very good inputs from him and learned a lot of things how to save water in the building construction area. And also we came to know about the importance of the water, how much it is available for our usage and all that. Although we have learned earlier basically, but nowadays everything has been gone in these days. Thank you for reminding our duty once again to do preserving of water and practicing sustainability. And it is, as you said, it is very, very important and much more than other aspect of our sustainability things, that we have to compulsorily do this water sustainability aspect. Wonderful inputs from him. And thanks to Dr. Ajit Sabnis for introducing him that there is one man called we call him as a now onwards our ACC is Waterman. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Salutes to you. And I thank all the participants. Hope everybody has got good input from him. And thanks to our moderator, D. Rangnath sir, Dr. Ajit Sabnis, and good inputs from Dr. Manmohan Kalgal. Thank you, one and all. Please join for the next series lecture on coming Saturday. Thank you very much. Have a good
I have one point, Srikanth.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Ajit. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is only to the participants. As the previous presentations will be made available on the slide share, and this presentation also will be uploaded shortly onto the slide share and then will be available to one and all. And the one question which could not be taken up, I request all the participants to kindly, if it is possible, kindly mail your questions to ACCE. Otherwise, I request Srikanth to kindly keep noting these questions which we are not able to answer them satisfactorily during the session. We will get back to those people subsequently with satisfactory answers to those people.
Hello.
We'll do
Yeah,
that.
this is what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Sure,
Thank
sir.
you, Mr. Service.
Yeah.
Sir,
Thank
I
you, sir.
wanted to know.
Who's this?
Hello.
Ramya?
Sir,
Ramya.
this is Ramya J. I wanted to know if there is access for the previously recorded sessions like session 1 and session 2.
Ajit?
No, we don't have recorded sessions. I will just check up whether we have been recording because that was slightly difficult. But all the see, there are quite a few things which we are trying to do this. All the presentations will be directly available on the SlideShare account, which we have already shared the account. If you don't have the link, then we can send you the link. What I will do is in the next class, I will share all the links again to all the participants on the screen itself so that they can note it down. Number one. Number one. Number two is ACC will try to bring out a publication comprising the essence of all the talks of all the topics. So that will be the second possible thing. I try to find out if whether the talks have been recorded. If they have been recorded, then we don't have any problem to circulate it. We will check and then get back to you, ma'am.
Sure, sir. Okay, that is
Yeah,
great.
1 minute.
Just a point.
Dr. Ashok.
Many of the webinars that are conducted by ACC are available in the website. The links are available. People can go in. And as far as this series is concerned, we will come back to the participants. All other webinars are available in the website of ACC.
Yeah.
And by the way, nice presentation, Kalbavi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. And one more information is, yes, all the presentations being made in this series are being recorded and it will be available with the Bangalore Center. And just like our president, Dr. Ashwath mentioned, once a decision is taken as to how this is going to be put up either on the website or otherwise, the recorded versions might be made available in the days to come. And thank you everyone for the participation. And we will meet you all next week, next Saturday at 4:30 sharp. Thank you.
Thanks, Rajendra. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good night, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Rajendra. Rajendra Kalbavi, you're there?